sometimes you want to see what he means by believing in something is, to me, is this like, if you believe in something, then you got to do whatever it takes in order to get it done. That's what it means to me, belief. I can't use other people's examples, but I can use my examples. Some simple examples would be, for example, when I was doing my software and all that, I still remember very well. I have to, you see, rather than doubts, sometimes you're moving towards your goals. The doubts all come most of the time is because there are certain things we are not willing to give up. Let me give you an example. When I have a huge project to do, then I cannot party at the time. So party is important for me, right? So then once that project comes in, so I have to give up that one. So for me, giving up that one is not easy. But you see, the goal is to get the job done. Because for me, it's this, people pass me a job, I need to get it done. Right? And it's already been a practice, like you got to finish the job ahead of time. Because that's the only way your business can grow. So I always had that practice since those days when I do jobs. So once I have that, I'm willing to give up the things around me in order to get the thing done. That includes sometimes dinner, lunch. There are times when I don't eat for 1-2 days, but I always have this. My mother always makes sure there's water. She worried that I'll die, like, that kind of thing. So for me, is that I don't think so. The doubts come just like that. Most of the time, the doubts come because you're working on other things. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're going for exam, right? You know you have to study for your exam. But you know how your mind will set you up, right? The morning, you say the whole day, okay, I'm going to spend studying. Guess what? You will sleep the whole day, you will do all kind of things the whole day, you play YouTube, video games, everything you will do. And then suddenly you see it's like 9 o'clock at night. Oh shit, man, 9 o'clock at night. So just to make yourself feel good, at least you go and touch the book. I may open a couple of pages and all that. And then that's it. I know. 11:30. You see, it must be replaced by something called panic. The panic has to come. Once the panic comes ready, then you lose conscious control. So you go subconsciously looking for all the books to do, what to study, this, that, and all that. And then the best part, the next thing you say, I didn't have enough time to study, So you see, a lot of times, then you start doubting whether you can do the exam well and everything like that. Do you notice the doubt comes when you don't put enough time and effort into it? Do you agree with me? You think about it. Most of the time, you don't put time and effort into something. Then how is it supposed to work? Huh?
Initial plan was to
yeah, but your programming is such that's why my way of studying those days was different. I don't. See, if you all really want to know how's my results like, I tell you how was it like. I was one of the first in my school, standard 5, I got all 5 A's. Those days, you get 5 A's is like fantastic already. Right? I was that batch where you have these few fellas only who have the 5 A's and big thing already, alright. So even then, I never really opened a book and study every day. Probably because it could be my father also. He always said this, if you do it on a daily basis, if you spend an hour on it or half an hour on it and all that, then it will just work for you. You see, you don't have to wait until the last 1 week and then, crack your head and all that. He used to tell me that. Probably the time I didn't have all the other ideas programmed in, like you can have lots of fun and everything like that, then study in the last day or something. So probably I followed it at that point of time. So I've never been the person, I always, it amuses me when people study last minute. It really does. You remember the time when the exam you were taking, I was she was going to sit for the exam, so the exam was just start. So it was the FIT. And by the way, she passed the exam, She's a personal trainer. So all this, the jokers of the book so thick, exam another half an hour. Okay, that thick book, how is it going to go into your head? So I was sitting there having a conversation with them. So I'm used to that. So it used to amuse me when people like last minute study this, that, and they go nuts, studying last minute. I don't know, because I practice it like that really. So it was easier for me to sit for exams and all that. Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, I don't know how many A's I got for my this thing. That's why I always say this, remember, I don't know how I passed my exams, but when I look back, I realize something. Every day I spend some time studying.